Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. Today's video is super exciting because we get to play with a new indie brand. So they are both new to me and also new in general. I actually have been meaning to film with this palette for a couple days now, but today is the day that we finally get to play with this palette, do some swatches and a kind of first impression video, get to do a look. This color story, I was just super excited when I saw this palette and I was like, it's happening, we're buying this palette, you know? This is the brand and the palette that we are gonna play with today. This is the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis palette. So like I said, they are a newer indie brand, and this is their first palette that they've ever released. They only have a few other products too. I don't remember what they were. I want to say they were either a lip product or like I honestly don't know. I don't remember what they were, but when I saw this palette, you know, I'm a palette person, so I saw this and I was like, yep, getting it. So this is actually the sleeve of the palette. I don't know why I still have it, to be honest. I don't usually keep the sleeves of palettes. It's kind of the same thing with, like, I kind of treat it as if it's a box, so I really don't keep it, but it basically just mirrors the outside of the palette. So again, this is the outside of the palette. And before we get any further, I just want to mention that this palette, there are 12 shades in here and it retails for $25, which I feel like is a pretty fair price. It's kind of in the middle between drugstore and like high-end pricing. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. Kind of a more grungy tone, but super cool. Like, I just feel like this is just such a fun color story because it's got a good mix between being neutral and then also having like pops of color and just being overall a pretty unique color story to have all of these shades together. I can't really think of a palette that I own that has all of these shades together, you know? So it does have some more red tones, definitely your browns with like your more neutral colors, some blue shades, and this really cool, like this color right here. This is kind of like, this row is kind of what sold me, I'm not gonna lie. Like this row right here is like, yep, it's happening. Let's go ahead and get into swatches. So these are the swatches of the palette. So from here, it looks like everything's swatched out pretty decently. Some of the mattes a little tiny bit patchy, but other than that, I feel like for swatches, they don't look too bad. Yeah, they look pretty decent. That darker blue, and then the black actually was a little patchy as well. I do want to say this. So these two shades kind of look a little similar. They definitely are different, like they're definitely different shades, especially seeing them side by side and then also swatched out. They do look awfully similar. I guess we can see like how everything performs and looks on the eyes. They do definitely, I mean, I see the differences, but I'm wondering if they are maybe a little too similar. Maybe it would have been nicer to have two different shades. I think I'm mainly gonna work with this row anyways, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm kind of losing my train of thought, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into a look. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. This is the look that we're going for. Can I just tell you guys that I love this look right now. Like, I don't exactly know how I got here with this, but I love it. Also, super random thought, or just a random thing to say, I had to stop after I did this to take a break before I started filming again because light, hot, whatever. I made brownies last night and they're amazing. Like, I haven't made brownies or cake or anything in a while, and I don't know, it was just something that when I was at the store I was like, yep, I'm buying them. It just made sense, you know? I'm just letting you guys know, one, that they were amazing, or they are amazing because I still have a little bit left, and two, if you're ever faced with the question of cakey brownies or fudgy brownies, it's always fudgy brownies, okay? Don't even think the other way. No, I'm kidding. You can make them however you want to, but these brownies were like, they were already the fudgy I don't know why I'm going on this tangent right now, but that's just how good those brownies were. Anyways, we're just gonna stop there. We're just gonna stop that there. But the main reason why I wanted to say that is because I did just eat a brownie. I don't know if I have brownie in my teeth or on my face, so bear with me. Yeah. Also, my right eye is literally driving me bonkers right now, and there's something stuck in there on my contact or something, but it really is not pleasant, so I'm trying to get through this so I can fix that, because ow. Honestly, I have no idea what it would be because there isn't glitter in this palette, so it must have been some other thing. I don't know, maybe it was from past glitter that I used that I just picked up on or something. This eye is primed and ready to go. We're gonna go in with this shade here. And I did try to tap off because I wasn't sure how this shade was going to blend. And matte blue shades can, especially the darker ones, can be a little intimidating, especially if you're not familiar with the formula. I really took my time to kind of feel it out and see how it was going to blend out. I will say that I feel like this shade was able to blend out really nicely and kind of build up very nicely as well. I was being really patient with it though, so just keep that in mind in case you're not patient. Okay. I'm gonna basically bring it out to maybe here and then kind of bring it down a little bit lower. We are doing a cut crease, but I really want to make sure that this is nice and saturated, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep building it up off camera just to save a little bit of time, but that's what I'm doing. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so from there we're gonna go ahead and go into this grungy like green color, kind of like a pea soup color, but I like it. I like it. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but you know. So green shade. I'm gonna try to kind of wing this out like I did on the other side. I'm honestly gonna focus on blending the two together after I have this down. It's helpful if you do use a more angled brush. Again, you wouldn't even need to have, you don't have to do this shape if you don't want to. I've been loving doing this shape, especially with my eye shape and how large my eyes are. I just feel like it just makes sense for me, really. I always do this eye in a different shape. I'm just convinced that they really are two different shapes, because even with eyeliner, this eye always ends up being more like triangular, where this one is just a little more whatever that was supposed to mean. I'm not entirely sure, but okay, so just really trying to blend these two colors together. This actual middle part will probably end up getting cut out, so maybe it won't, but just trying to blend that together. And then now for the risky part that I wasn't sure I was gonna like, but I actually love it, we're gonna go in with the red shade. Also, they do have names. They have names, they're just not written on the inside. And they're not written on the back of this either. So it came with a little postcard, which I totally forgot to mention this earlier. It came with a postcard with the shade names. So packaging wise, that's kind of the only thing that I wish was different, is that they actually had the names either on the back of the palette itself or underneath. I mean, and we can get to that part later, but I mean, I don't even know if I'll really touch up on that. Like, this looks clean without the names, but sometimes it is nice to have the names, but I mean, again, eh. Alright, so the red is gonna go on the inner corner, or not the inner corner, but like right above the blue shade, and it will kind of start to make a little bit of a kind of a purple color when you mix them together. I mean, that makes sense. From there, I am gonna go into this shade here, but I'm not gonna follow it all the way out to the corner of my eye, and then we'll kind of, or I guess I can tell you guys now. For the outer portion of my eye, where the green kind of wings out, to blend that out a little bit better, I do go in with a fluffy brush and some bronzer, which I don't know if it's super apparent. The bronzer is very, very light. So we are gonna go into this shade here. Sorry, I'm not reading off the names, but again, always appreciate the pointy method. Like, I'm using this, I'm using this, I'm using this, I'm using this, okay? I'm just gonna go right in here, so blend it real nice with the red shade. And I'm gonna take it probably like a little bit out here. I'd actually probably stop it there, because these eyes aren't going to mirror each other completely. I'm pretty sure they're different shapes. So from there, let's go ahead and I'm gonna cut my crease out. After I do that, I did take some glitter primer. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'll be back. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and the lid shades are gonna be this silver shade and then this shade right here. So more like, I want to call that a champagne-y shade, but that might not be correct. Okay, so of course, I'm gonna go in with my finger first. Okay, so now that I have a decent base on there, I'm gonna take a brush. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and go into that second shade now. Go ahead and go in with a brush. Hopefully I wasn't blocking that too much. Okay, so that was a really weird face. Alright, so for the under eye, we're gonna do the red shade. So we're gonna do the red shade right here. And then this lighter shade, kind of like a pinky brown, maybe. Maybe that wasn't the best way of describing it. So start with the red shade. Oh, I have a little bit of like fallout right there. Okay, so red shade first. I do have a decent amount of fallout from that silver shade too. Okay, so then to go in with the lighter shade, I had a brush for this. There it is. Okay, so for the inner corner, I'm gonna do the blue shade. So this blue shimmer shade. And I don't know what it is. Well, I kind of know what it is, but this Luxie brush, it's the precision blending brush, but this is my like I need this for my inner corner at all times. Like, I just don't even want to use another brush ever again. Like, I love this brush for the inner corner. I am going to bring that down just a tiny bit under here, under the eye, and then also try to marry it in with that red shade, since we didn't take the red shade all the way down. That's basically it for the look. I do need to blend it out with the bronzer, but I'm not going to do that on camera. I don't think we need to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and maybe put lashes on. I mean, I can't do a dramatic eye look and not put lashes on, but every time I'm like super tempted not to, and I'm like, I can do this, I don't need lashes, and then I get to the end of my look and I'm like, I need them. I just need them. I'm not complete without them. I mean, for me, I'm sure we've already talked about this a million times, but my lashes aren't that long, my natural lashes. I'm not that great at like mascara, like application. I feel like you need, and okay, it's probably because I've been doing falsies for so long, but I feel like you just need a little bit more patience with mascara than I have. So false lashes all the way, 100%. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup and then we'll talk about the palette. Okay, so this is the finished look. Alright. If you hear weird noises behind me, it is definitely my dog flipping around doing the crazy pitbull thing where they lay on their back and go like this. So she's doing that, and when she does that, she makes weird noises. So yeah, she's like scratching her back, and I really wish I could show you guys what she looks like right now because she looks ridiculous and adorable all at the same time. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this look and this palette. So one, I love this look. Like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys probably have a better memory than I do. I don't think I've actually done a look like this before. Like, really, nothing close to this before. So I love that, and you guys already know this, but a palette that can challenge me creatively. She is just like flipping around like crazy right now. Okay, and shaking off now. A palette that can challenge me creatively and to really push myself and to just think outside of the box completely. Like, I 100% love and appreciate that so much, and I feel like that's exactly what this palette did for me today. Is I really, like I said, I don't think I've ever done a look quite like this before. And I can appreciate the hell, like, I can appreciate the hell out of that. Like, I just absolutely love that. I love doing different color combinations and doing something that I'm not necessarily super comfortable with. Like, at first, when I started this look, I was like, this isn't gonna work. This look isn't gonna work. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna mess it up. Like, after I did the blue and the green and started to add the red, I was like, no, this isn't gonna work. But like, it worked, and I am in love with it, like, hands down. I wish you guys could see like my hand right now, because it's literally like, yes, I talk with my hands, and it's like all over the place right now. But anyways, so far, yes, love this look. Let's talk about the palette a little bit more. So far I'm really enjoying the palette. I feel like the mattes were really easy to work with. I feel like they were, especially that blue shade, you definitely want to take it a little bit slower with blue shades, blue like matte shades, but I feel like it performed really nicely. It was very easy to build up, and I can appreciate the quality of that blue matte shade specifically. All of the other matte shades were really pretty, super easy to work with, very easy to blend out. I love the color of this green shade. Like, I absolutely love this color. I really just think that the color story really is unique. The one thing that I'll touch on is I do feel like one of these shades could go, honestly, if I had to choose one, I'd probably say this one. and I feel like one of these shades could go. That's just kind of how I'm feeling. I do recognize the differences between those shades, but I feel like we could have had a little bit more potential in this palette and really been able to just push the palette and just gotten an even like better color story if those shades were kind of mixed around a little bit and they added a little bit more. Now, to say what shades, I really don't know what would have been like the best shades for the like replacement, but I do feel like that could have happened, and maybe it should happen, you know, maybe they should kind of rework it at some point, just because I just feel like they are close. Can I live with the color story the way it is? Definitely. I can still use the palette exactly how it is. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it if I wasn't going to be able to work with it, you know, but just looking at it, I mean, while I was looking at it online, I kind of had that thought, but definitely seeing it in person and being able to work with it, I do feel like there could be changes with those shades. Again, they don't need to happen, but it is something that definitely could have happened. And do I still love this color story the way it is? Absolutely. I just adore the color story. I just think it's so fun, so unique. I mean, I can't think of another palette that I own right now that would be able to give me this color story, that would be able to give me this look. Like, I really can't think of another palette that I have right now, or even one that I know of, that would be close to this color story. Like, can you guys think of anything that's out there right now or that you own that is close to this? Like, I can't. Like, I literally can't think of another palette that's even close to this color story. So for that itself, I can really appreciate that. Like, look at how gorgeous this is. Like, it's so fun. It's just this grungy, like, beautifulness that I didn't know I needed in my life, but I needed, you know? I needed it. I didn't know it, but I needed it. So far, yeah, I really am liking this palette so far. I guess one thing that I want to say is to talk about the Shimmer Formula a little bit more. I haven't actually talked about that yet, so the one thing I will say is I feel like that more silvery shade that we started off with looks very textured on my eyes, like very textured. So I'm kind of hoping that it's just the base that I used, because I don't typically like when eyeshadows look super, super foiled. So I'm hoping, I don't know, because it just brings this weird texture out, and I feel like that's all I focus on, so that other people are going to focus on that too. Like, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but to me, it just adds this crazy amount of texture to my eyes that I'm not loving right now. I'm kind of hoping that it was just what I used as a base, so having used the concealer, and then also the glitter primer, and the brush was probably a little bit wet too, which would probably be why it did start to kind of have this more foiled texture. But the brush wasn't like, I dried the brush off, if that makes sense. Like, I used the same brush that I used for my concealer, but I wiped it off with a makeup brush and then dried it off with a dry towel. And so the brush might have been a tiny bit wet, and that might actually be the reason why it's foiled. So I might actually take that all back. I'm interested to see how it applies in the future. That's all I really want to say is it's textured. It wasn't me, probably, but it is something to point out just in case it does happen to anybody else. If you guys watch this video and decide to pick up the palette and then have the same thing happen to you, I don't want you to feel like I just didn't mention it at all, but I do feel like it very well could have been the bases that I used, and also maybe the brush wasn't as dry as I thought. So, and that would definitely cause that effect. So, that being said, does it probably me? Probably. So, we'll go from there, but I just wanted to mention that just in case, you know, just in case. The other shimmers that I used look really nice. That blue shade in the inner corner is absolutely stunning. I am just a sucker for blue shimmer shades, but Right now, the blue shade and that green shade are my two favorite colors in this palette, but I'm so excited to see what this brand comes out with next. But for this to be the first color story and the first palette that they've ever done, like, come on. I literally cannot wait to see what else they come out with, because this is just, like I said before, this is the palette I didn't know I needed, but I needed it. And like, this is a color story I didn't know I needed. I needed it. Like, that's the best way for me to describe that, is look at it. I don't know, I am just in love with it. So yeah, it'll be super, like, it'll be super interesting to see what else they come out with. I hope that they come out with more palettes soon, because I am just so excited to see what else they're gonna do. I'm very excited for what else Drench is gonna do with their line, if they're gonna do more eyeshadow palettes, whatever the next thing that they come out with is gonna be. I'm just so excited for it. Yeah, I guess that's probably a good note to leave this video on, is I'm just super excited for this brand. I can't wait to see what else they come out with, and honestly, right now, I'm really enjoying this palette. If you guys want to see like a couple more looks with this palette, maybe not 3, but maybe like 2 more looks with this palette, just let me know, because this would definitely be something I'd love to do. And I know I keep saying that, and I haven't been doing multiple looks with other palettes. I've had a lot of new things come in recently, so that kind of throws things up in the air and kind of pushes other videos back. But if you guys are at all interested in seeing more looks with this palette, please, 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 please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what your like thoughts are on this palette. Have you heard of this brand before? Have you seen this palette before? What do you think about the color story? Would you change the other shades like I thought? Like, you know, what, just give me your thoughts. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's hang out. So far, really enjoying this palette. I am very glad I bought it. I really can't wait to see what else they come out with. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.